First business is we're going to approve April 6th, 2021 minutes. Do I make a motion to hear?
I'll make a motion, we approve them as read.
Second it, all in favor? Review and approve April 20th, 2021 warrants. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we approve them.
Second it, all in favor?
I don't see nothing out of the way in there or anything, so.
Yeah, same old, same old. I'm gonna leave, Bob's paycheck with me, so.
Okay, yep.
That's good.
Hopefully he got a test done today.
Canterville Pond.
He called and said he was coming.
Okay. Okay. You probably, did you tell him 6?
I did last time, yep. He left a message while I was gone.
Okay. Well.
Lisa's not on.
Lisa Graffin, she is called in, yeah, huh? Okay. Planning board appointment. So it's for Donald Shop, he's following Maine. Vacancy in the Baldwin Planning Board, municipality of Baldwin, due according to the provision of the state of Maine, hereby appoint U.S. Planning Board member for the, and for the municipality of Baldwin. Such appointment is effective April 20th, 2026.
5 years.
5 years.
Did we get any other responses? Not that he was the only one, huh?
That was it.
Yep. Well,
Easy enough. Seems like a pretty decent fellow.
he's got some experience.
Yeah. So, do I hear a motion to accept,
I make a motion, we accept his, as a member of the planning board.
I second it. All in favor?
So those two appointments are gonna be pretty close together, so. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Foreclosure updates.
I talked to Paul today, over the phone, and he just kinda talked about it over the phone. He wasn't gonna provide anything. The property with the trailers on it, I think you guys probably wanted to put that out to bid, right, considering the situation?
So the squatters are on it?
Yep.
Yeah.
But he said, you know, if you take the trailers off, he said that land's probably $20,000–$30,000.
There's a lot of trash there.
Is there?
Well, I was up by that today, I come down to Crawford Road, stop and there is tons of trash.
Yep. So, and I was talking to, Fred Howell about that, and that used to be the one chunk, right, and it was split. The red house and that piece was one at one time.
Probably was at one time.
Yep, and they split it, and they got the red house. So So that entryway, both of those pieces of property that are split now have the same address as 30 Crawford Road. But you can't get to the trailers off Crawford Road, you have to, it's too
So it goes
complicated.
on 113.
So when that split was done recently, we should have done a new address. So we have to do a new 911 address for that lot. And update the property cards and everything.
Now, what about the squatters? Can we,
That's up to the person who put the bid in.
is it really, so it's not up to us to,
I don't think so.
good.
So probably saying it probably won't go for much, maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of people are asking about it, so maybe they're, I don't know, maybe have the means to do something like that, and, but.
I'd say in that case, put it up to bid.
Well, that's what I would say too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that won't go through the hands of the realtor unless he bids it out.
Realtor?
Yeah, they won't bid it, right?
I don't believe, no, it's up to the town.
Yeah.
We have language as far as bids go for real estate, if you want me to put something together for your workshop.
Yeah.
The legalities part of it and everything, and
Yeah.
do you want me to check with David, Lori, or I can try MMA first on language to, if there's, you know, the squatters, how to put that in a bid
Yeah.
type of thing.
If you check with MMA, then we
Yeah,
don't have
check with
to,
them first, yeah.
don't have to pay too much.
Okay, so I'll do that with that one. The unknown owner parcel, he's kinda confused on it, because he says, I can't get up to the property, look at it, it's landlocked. I said, yep, and I said, well, I think the thinking on that was how much would it be worth for forest land if someone was to go in and log it? And he says, well, I'm not a forester. I said, okay. And he said, you could just he says, I would go with the assessed value on that, $1,000 an acre. So, he says it's landlocked, he says, I don't know anything about a right of way, he says, I'm sure an abutter would buy it. I said, well, all the abutters are very interested in this, so they're just kinda waiting for the town to move on it, so. He said he wouldn't go any lower than $1,000 an acre on that.
Yeah, what I was thinking was, we put out the bid with a minimum bid for $1,000 an acre. And, if they wanna grab at it, they can, if they bid on it, you know, maybe they'll get a little more than that. I think we ought to just try to get rid of it.
Be nice to move on some of this stuff.
Yeah,
Doing it right
get it
away.
cleared up. I don't know if we should decide anything tonight, with Bob not being here, or?
I'd feel better if we all three was doing it.
Yeah, me too,
You know,
yeah.
so we're all on the same page.
Right, yeah.
But I think it's time, if you can, get it back onto the tax books, to get it back, especially that long time, because it's been since 1953. You know, it's been quite a while.
And we do
We'll
have-
never recoup what we've lost.
No,
Never.
so at least we start getting money from it, you know,
Yeah.
and we got people that are interested in it, so, and it's a hard piece to sell, so that's my suggestion is, put a minimal bid on it, and $1,000 an acre.
$1,000 an acre sounds high to me for 53 acres and no access.
Right.
You know, but there's gotta be access to it somehow. But if Warren Swan bought it, his land goes up against it. Ricky Day's land goes up against it, and I don't know who owns on this side over here.
Doesn't Estes border it as well?
If it does, it's on the lower side of it, where the gravel pit is.
I think it's really close to that solar farm project as well, isn't it?
Well, it's up on the top of the hill from it, up on the other side of the, on the next mound over.
Okay.
Not far from it.
So,
Is it 53 acres?
I think it's 53 acres there.
It's a big chunk. Maybe they'll, get together and all buy a piece of it.
is it worth, I think the question was finding that out and whether or not you wanted to go back to the attorney to contact all the heirs maybe that's the same situation as the trailers, leave it up to the person who bids it to clear the title if they want and just quick claim it, I don't know.
That's almost SOP today and stuff, so, I mean, do we give a quick claim deed, that's all we're gonna give them?
The way Paul explained it is, you know, that you can quick claim it and it's just not worth as much. If you cleared the title, it'd be worth a lot more, but like you said, it's landlocked anyways.
Yeah.
So who's really gonna be crazy interested in it if it's landlocked?
Just the people in the area and stuff.
So, I mean, maybe you provide that report to the person who buys it, I don't know.
Well,
Is that that's public information?
Yeah, maybe it's, you know.
Well, that's $2,000 we spent already on it. So, I mean, there's 2 acres right there.
Yeah.
So you want me to kind of write something up on that for you to review on workshop, or?
To have for the next workshop. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some sort of ad or language?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might have to run that by MMA too, just.
Yeah, at least we can start working on a draft and see how it sounds. River Road piece. He was concerned with that because he was concerned with the access to it, over the railroad tracks. He says, I've dealt with railroad tracks, and he says it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah,
And he says, I don't see any real good right-of-way to it, looking at the tax map. And he says, I thought we looked at this before and there was an access issue. So.
Is that down, you go down, before the tracks cross the road, there's a road off to the left that goes way down by the river. Is that?
Firefly Road?
Yeah, that's a piece of, down in there, no?
It goes past that.
Past that. They'll have to.
They had a for sale sign there before.
I can't picture the river. Is it down by the river?
River's on the other side, railroad
Okay.
tracks on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I'm going wrong direction.
So he was wondering if there was a right-of-way issue with that. He says, you know, is it worth having an attorney look into it for a right-of-way, or, and he said, you know, that could go $40,000, $50,000 if there's a right-of-way to it. But he said, we ought to look at the right-of-way problem.
Do that first, and then. Yeah, depends on what's gonna cost us to.
Oh, we'll just look at the deeds, maybe there's some sort of language in there.
Yeah.
Cause they were selling it, they had a for sale sign out there.
19 acres to it, right?
Yep.
Now, these are the people that, isn't these the people from over Mumford that own that or something?
What's that, I'm sorry?
On the Judith Van Vliet, Scott Mass
Yeah,
thing?
that, yep.
But and we can prove that everybody's received the notices and.
That's been signed off on. Those certifieds have been received and signed for.
Yep.
And the Mater one on the Intervale, he was gonna try and get down and look at the camp on that. But there's an assessing issue on that one, so I don't know.
That was tied up for a while and.
Yeah, he didn't know how far you wanted to go on it. And Dave's Lane, he says if it's buildable, that would go for $20,000. He says it's only a small lot. He says if it's not buildable, you'd go with an assessed value on it, $4,500. It's a 0.7 acre, I think. So. Could someone put a camper out there? They probably could, couldn't they?
Yeah.
On Sand Pond, that would be good.
Yeah, that's what I always wanted to do. You know where that snack shack is in Long Beach, in Sebago, or
Yeah.
Bandit? That place is almost falling down.
Yeah, it is.
I've always wanted to buy that and put the camper there for summer.
Yeah.
I don't know why why that's tied up like that.
I don't either.
Larry Simpson had something to do with that, and if you remember right, Larry Simpson run that, when he
Yeah.
was running and stuff.
No, and they did a good job too. I
Yeah.
mean, that was a hot spot for
Yeah, so it was.
that place, but, and then he sold it and it fell apart after that.
Yeah. But I can't believe that they don't sell the property, like tear down the building and build something new there.
Right,
Or like
yeah.
you say, a camp or something.
Yeah.
It's right on 114, it's the only drawback.
Yeah. I mean, that, or another restaurant there. I asked, Dan, our code enforcement officer about that one, he used code enforcement to stand this, and asked him about that. You know, why nobody bought it and started back up, and back then he said, well, the roof was caving in because of the rock. And I know I went by the other day.
I don't think you can save it now.
No, one wall is kind of blowing out a little bit, so it looks like it's slowly
Yeah.
caving.
Well, look up the street a quarter of a mile where they built that big log cabin that sits close to the road.
Yeah.
Remember, there used to be an old campfire, they tore that down and
Yep.
put that base.
Yep.
I mean, you'd think they'd do the same thing down there.
Yeah, do that there. I would think they could. It's not
That's expensive property, right?
Yeah, it is.
When I first started driving, well, this was in '77, I had an opportunity to buy 2 lots over there, right on the water.
Yeah.
At $17,000 a lot, and I laughed at them. You know, well, now them same lots are going for $1 million apiece.
Yeah.
You know,
Probably.
I wish now I'd have bought
Maybe
it.
about it.
Back then, you know, $34,000 was a lot of money,
Right, yeah,
right on Sebago Lake, been worth it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember before that place was built, it was just like a little shack there.
It was.
You know, and, yeah.
Yeah.
Hammered the place and it.
Yeah, he built it up pretty good there for a
Yeah.
while, and then it just ceased to exist.
Down in the campground across the road.
Well, I wonder if that's got something to do with it.
I don't know, maybe.
That land's gonna be tied up for some reason,
Yeah.
something, or somebody would have it by now.
Yeah. All right, anything else?
That's all I got. I don't know what you wanna do on Dave's Lane. But I'll just list them again, you guys can hash it out again at your workshop.
Yeah.
So do you wanna fill it by real estate agent or do bid, if it's such a small lot, maybe?
Maybe, the brothers are gonna, you know, maybe put it out there, see what.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere. So whenever you
We had it this long.
pull the trigger.
The problem is with some of this stuff, if you don't know where the lines are, it'll cost you more to run the lines than what you're gonna get for value out of it.
Yeah.
That's up to them to figure out, right? That's the beauty of the quick claim.
You would think. But you would think too, I mean, if we're gonna put a sign on it or something, that some of the neighbors would step up or something.
Yeah.
I remember those little lots we sold a long time ago, those little chunks that the land committee, wanted the town to look at and sell.
Yeah.
And that was for all bid, and they all sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think there was any, real concrete lines or anything, but they were all municipal quick claims and boom, 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 gone. It's kinda like cleaning house, it's kinda nice.
Yeah.
But like Paul said, you're not gonna get top dollar, but at least you're turning it back over and they're not just sitting, so.
Right.
It's their problem to figure out if they have a boundary issue after that,
Yeah, true.
so. Here they come.
Yeah. Don't know.
Keep checking my email, I feel like, I don't know, Lisa Raffin was pretty into it, so I don't. No news.
Well, maybe she hasn't got anything together yet.
Well,
I'm surprised she didn't say anything, cause last time she emailed said she wasn't ready.
Yeah.
She'll see on the 22nd, so.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing? Good, how are you?
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
We started at 6.
Huh?
We started at 6. It was advertised, we're starting our meetings at 6 from now on, it was advertised at 6.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We try to get out here a little earlier.
Oh.
I'll have supper after your meetings then. Kind of on the cusp.
Oh.
How's it going so far? What did we miss?
Well, not too much, we got 2 of them no-shows. Got some foreclosure updates, that we're trying to sell some foreclosed land, and see how we go through that.
George Anderson truck outside.
Is it? Okay, that's probably, that's one of the,
He's one we'll miss it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I figured.
yeah.
Don Sharp, we signed his papers for the planning board,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so you'll see, it won't be this meeting or anything, but the next meeting, so he should be all set.
Hope he doesn't think he knows too much. That was my impression of it.
Who knows?
Could be.
Very cool. Thanks so much.
I mean, we'll find out.
I would think that he's from Vermont, that rules might be different in Vermont, but, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, that we have to have a re-educated on
He's
The
coming.
girls who were there, their opinion was, well, it's a favor to his wife to get him out of the house twice a month.
Where he was, it was a 5-man board of selectmen,
Oh.
Oh, wow.
instead of a 3-man board.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah,
There's some towns in Maine like that,
Yeah.
yeah, well, Freiburg is.
You're coming to the meeting.
I'd hate it.
She's waiting for the town clerk.
Too many opinions.
Okay, okay.
Limerick or Wilmington?
Wilmington's got 3, right? I don't know about Limerick might have 5.
I think Wilmington's 5.
Yeah.
I think they changed a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but boy, things are in turmoil all the time.
Yeah, I would think that'd make it.
What's his name again, I'm sorry?
Don Sharp.
Don Sharp.
Yep, Sharp. SHARPE.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Was there any discussion on, going back to in-person meetings sometime?
Probably after this Thursday.
After this Thursday,
Yeah.
awesome.
I'll let you know, but that's what we've said.
Wonderful. Yep, great.
We've had a couple of cases of COVID here.
Yep.
That's why Bob is in here tonight.
Really?
So, I mean, it's closer to us than what we think.
Ah, that's good.
No.
No. It had nothing to do with us though. It was, a granddaughter of his was exposed to a classmate who had it. So he's like second in line, but
Yeah.
he
Right.
stayed home and needs to figure out,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
It's
But
like
not-
a tick. Tick gets on your leg and, gets on your ankle and all of a sudden it bites you in the knee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alright, so then we got Southby Valley Rec, using the ball field. Does that come out there?
That is them,
Okay.
and when I talked to Kyle, he said that there's all kinds of different age groups that wanna use the field and softball.
Cool.
So, I messaged, the rec, I haven't heard back. It's hard, I don't know who's in charge, I think it's Debbie Valander. But, some sort of, there goes my phone, some sort of schedule, so, between the playground.
Well, it'd be nice to know, so.
Yeah,
We
we
didn't
kinda-
know nothing about it at all tonight, we drove in and there's 10 cars out here.
Yeah.
They were supposed to do field cleanup last weekend, I guess. I don't know if they were here or not, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was
If
here
there's-
Saturday, nobody was here.
If there's multiple leagues coming here, we kinda gotta know what's going on.
Yeah.
And the mowing and stuff, is Randy all set with mowing the
Yeah,
fields? Or-
yeah.
I'd like to see it being used.
Well, I hate to see it like it was last year, when before you mowed it.
Yeah.
It was kinda like growing up a
It's
little
really
bit.
grown.
It's better to have some kids out there using it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
What it's there for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Just, we kinda gotta coordinate between the after-school program and, you know, we don't want cars driving again with his kids out here.
Sure.
You know, so,
Yeah, makes sense.
That was a problem before.
but we put some barricades up, you know, some pylons with plastic chain on them there. And evidently they must have moved, because I checked it. When I was up here last night,
Yeah.
you know, I drove in before we went to the Tri-Town
Yeah.
meeting and stuff, and everything was in place down there. So that tells me they've had to move them tonight.
Yeah,
As long as they put them back, fine.
yeah. Some kids are.
The fields would do better if they don't get driven on now.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're gonna have a slide in here.
Same with the, play area and stuff out here, you know, I mean, I've been in the Sand Pond Beach today checking things out, and they've done Brodies around and stuff.
You're gonna have a login. Aiden Foley just called for Glendale, and Lisa's been out sick, and she's sick. So she
Oh.
hasn't been on email or anything, so he
Okay.
was kind of, he didn't know that she was on the agenda tonight, and he just wants to pop on for a minute and say hi, and just kind of clear the air, so he
Okay.
feels bad. So I just gotta send him the invite, but if you wanna just continue. So anyway.
Zoom, 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 zoom.
Oh, you're gonna try on your tablet
Okay.
there? Did you like the computer, Dwight?
Somebody let me in.
Come in, vote 'em in.
Come on in.
Here you go. Do you wanna talk to him first, or talk to Paul first?
Yeah, we talked to Paul first.
Okay.
I think, we had some citizens concerned about what you're gonna be doing up there. Why you needed the access to the land out there.
The land, I mean, I got a right of way up through there, but I'm just trying to clarify it, that's all, I don't, you know, on my deed, it says off from town road, and that's why I thought you guys owned the road. We just was trying to get a clean access, meaning, you know, so many feet off from road, straight up in or whatever, instead of just from a rock going westerly, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you don't have any definite plans to, work your land up there or anything, you just.
Well, I mean, whatever we do, I mean, you know, I mean, the cell towers going in all over the place, but the land right now is, like I said, it's just not clean access, that's all I was asking. I knew you guys owned that last lot up there.
Yeah.
So that last lot has a right of way to it, so that's why I mentioned at the last meeting, you know, if you sell me that last lot, because, I mean, that obviously had a right of way to it, but I don't know what the deed says or anything.
Because we're still looking into it, what the best way is to give you a right of way, or just, sell it to you. So we're still looking into it. Just the only one.
Well, we've had 2 or 3 people come to us and want to know what's gonna take place with the lot and stuff. That was our big question and stuff. And then we found out you logged it already?
The people we bought it off from logged it.
They logged it?
We logged it a little bit, but, you know, just.
So you must have used them right away roadside then?
Well, that road going up through, there was an old building there, an old trailer, I believe, and that road goes right up by the old trailer, right straight up onto the hill. You know, I don't believe that was the access, because there's another old road, there was an old camp up there, way up in the back, and that comes down through and then goes down between them houses and out to that road. And, but again, you know, the right of way is just off from the town road, Big Rock, there, and, you know, certain degrees, and then up, and there's no width, there's no nothing, you know, to specify what it is. I have copies of the old deeds and stuff. There's actually 2 right-of-ways up through there, but can't we really pinpoint them. I have a good idea,
Yeah.
but, you know, nothing in stone. But,
I gotta take a ride up there sometime.
I've lived in this town all my life, I'm born and brought up here, I've never been in Thailand.
I was up there a long, long time.
I've never been over there.
Yeah, we call it Thailand.
Yeah.
Wasn't there an issue though that it wasn't a town road as well?
Right, it isn't a town road.
so in the deed, it says off from the town road, so that's what threw me off at the last
Yeah.
meeting. And, well, I can show it. This is one of the old ones.
Big Rock or something. Yeah, it's kind of vague.
I bet you would get that on some of your lots.
Not anymore.
You had it all surveyed out, right?
I've been cleaning it up.
Yeah.
Now with GPS, it just changes everything. You
Oh.
can pinpoint things so much more accurate.
When I put out wood lots in a forest management, I had everything GPS out on that. But the state, between Acres and Wildlife and the lot that I own out there, see, the state surveyed and put a line right up through there.
Right?
I get a free line out of that deal.
Oh, okay, fine.
From where my father said the line was to where the state said the line was, and they surveyed it out,
Right?
it was off by about 15 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it, over about 400 yards where the two come together, 15, I mean, it's worth it to me to get the straight line.
Yeah.
I looked at this, Bob pulled this up. I looked
Oh,
at
he did?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew when Mr. Anderson said there was 2 rights away, I knew the deed said there was, 2 roads to access on it.
But yeah, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. It's, the land without a, a legal definite spot and going up through, it's really useless, really. Because CMP won't do any power, banks won't loan no money, they'll look at this and say, your access is screwed up. CMP, they're not gonna set poles unless, they know where the right of way is.
So you're definitely looking at that poles and get electricity out there.
Well, yeah, with that old lot up at the end, like I said, it looked like an old trailer there, but all the junk's still there. And there's a pole that comes right up and stops right on that lot. So that trailer had power at one time.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that lot, it should say in the deed, you know, access up this road, you know, I'd imagine, but I haven't looked at the deed, I don't know what that deed shows. I couldn't find it. It's right on the end of that road. Maybe that's not a legit deed, I don't know.
Well, we find a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Land seems to be changing hands quite rapidly around here and stuff lately, so.
Oh, yeah.
In the last couple of years.
Yep, you guys got your work cut out for you. Sure.
Well,
But that's what we're up against anyway, we just, I'm gonna ask you guys, for starters.
Well, we'll do some more work on it and
yeah,
stuff.
we just, Bob isn't here tonight, we don't really feel comfortable making any definite decisions on it, so. I'm sure you'll have questions too, more questions.
Yeah. Maybe the next time we will have to bother you, we can get you on the phone or something.
Yeah.
You don't have to drive all the way over here.
You own several pieces there.
Yeah.
There's another one that goes right out to the main road, if you was even interested in giving us a right of way up through there, if you have concerned people, you know, on that road or whatever.
Farther in, you mean?
No, actually, out off from the state road. There used to be an old blue building there, and you guys burned it and cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Well, I believe you guys got all that land there.
Yeah.
Tax required, or.
It is, yeah. Yeah, that's why we burned it.
There's a lot of tax required land over there.
Yeah, it is.
Because I was looking at the deeds and stuff, and that lot there, right off from the road, wraps right up around, right back to our property.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know, you know, you probably have to bid it all out and all that stuff, and I get that, I know.
That's, most of our stuff has been out.
Yeah.
We want to make it fair.
Because we're looking at now other properties where we wanna dump, get rid of them.
Yeah.
So that would be one of them there that
Yep,
we're looking at.
yep. Well, awesome, I'm sorry to bug you guys, I know you're busy.
No, it's fine. How's David doing?
Well, good.
I went to grammar school with him over in Sebago.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, we're all getting older. Making all that works, right?
That's right.
One time we're the young guys, and then the next time you turn around, we're the old guys.
That was funny 20 years ago, it ain't funny anymore.
No, it's not, it's serious.
Well, we'll be in touch with you, Paul.
All right, you guys have a good evening.
Thank
You
you.
too, thanks for coming.
You ready for Aiden?
Ready, ready.
Okay.
Big A here.
Yours, did you connect the audio there? Says you're trying to. Aiden, you're on.
Hi. There. Got me again. Well, I don't need this thing then.
Alright.
I'm gonna log off here. Yeah. I don't need that.
You see everybody?
Yes, I can see two board members and,
There we go.
There you go.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Apologize, we have a reasonably good excuse. I want to be careful about what I say about a staff or a team member's personal affairs, but Lisa's been ill
Yeah.
for a while, and I've encouraged her. She hasn't felt very energetic, and she hasn't been checked in, and we didn't realize we were on tonight's agenda just because of that, really. And we're not quite ready to present you with anything. If she had been in the office, maybe we got there, but we don't have any updates to you, but we think we would probably by the next meeting.
Okay.
We didn't realize the meeting started at 6. I got the notice on my phone at 6:15, and we sort of scrambled to try to show up and explain ourselves. So that's
Okay.
that's what I got for you tonight.
All right. Yeah, we haven't got anything different for you, so just,
All right.
just the information.
Did you meet with your council? I thought there was a prospect of you meeting with council, Drummond Woodson, I thought.
Yeah,
we
we've got a counselor, but we haven't met with him yet. I think he wants to take your information and look at it first.
All right. Sounds fun.
Okay.
You know, we're expecting to take up the town. I don't know if we're technically on the hook for that yet, but we're, you know, it's customary, I guess, that we pick up your legal fees. So, we're expecting to cover that, and, don't want this to be any harder for you than it already is. So, hopefully Lisa's better again, and she's back at it next week, and we can keep that sort of clipping along. Lost the meeting, but we'll just have to play it by ear. So.
Just one question, how much, are you allowing us for? Is it still 2,000, or would you go higher?
I think what we like to do is offer the first couple of thousand, no strings attached, and then when an agreement is signed, usually agree to cover fees up to $10,000.
Okay.
But what I would say is if relationships, if you sincerely put effort in and then couldn't get it done, I'd hate to see you left with the legal fees. So, we can address that. At the same time, we hate to commit, here, go spend $10,000 on lawyers and tell them these things. But $10,000 is a number that our council in a different community has told us has gotten the job done before.
Okay.
But and I don't, this sounds like it's strings attached too. We don't intend for you to be stuck with legal fees in any circumstance.
Okay.
But if, negotiations went sideways really fast, really badly, it would feel tough to be stuck with the bill. So we don't anticipate there being anything other than good faith efforts. If we don't get there, we don't get there. So that could be one of the first items of discussion.
Okay.
With Drummond and Woodson when we get in the room together.
All right. Okay.
So, rest easy, I would say. Maybe we commit to $5,000 at first, and then we commit to the last $5,000 that's for executing an actual agreement or something. But I don't want you to feel like you're at risk here, because I know you probably don't have budget for this item.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
We're up in Hiram one time recently, and the select board members were trying to give back their mileage allowance to help pay for a generator, and some stick in the mud showed up and complained about that, and he talked about how it wasn't an authorized expenditure. That the town meeting had given it to the select board member, and it was a town meeting too. It was messy. So
Yeah.
you know how
Yeah.
precise the budgets are.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll sort that out as soon as we can get talking to them.
Okay.
As soon as we get some papers to work with, then we can talk to the lawyer and stuff.
Yeah.
And see which way this is gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dennis Laurie already billed us $1,000 or something. He made it down to 2,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Lisa said that was white clean, or we start over again.
Well, I think we paid it.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, we should be, as long as you are able to sort of tell us if it's of interest and cut things off quickly if it breaks down, or I think it's fair to say that you should be exposed to legal fees.
Okay. All right.
We certainly got the money to pay the legal fees. we spend a lot of, we have a lot of lawyers working for us, and sometimes it feels like it's all we do. We have the planning board on Thursday, so we're hoping that goes well. We'll be on time for that meeting. Make sure you're there.
Alrighty then.
All right, well, thank you. Sorry again for leaving you hanging. I
No,
hope you
that's
no
okay.
offense.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
See ya.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
That works.
Yeah, they got the money all right, right?
I have a question. So are they meeting with Hiram, or is this an old meeting that he just?
I think it was an old meeting he was talking about.
Are we not gonna combine with Hiram as originally thought?
They looking good.
No, they kind of left it in our court, and they're gonna do whatever we do, so they're kind of riding on our tail, and
They want us to take the ball and go be pointing in,
I think
you know.
they want some of the cakes, they gotta start making some, you know? Yeah.
So this information that we're gonna get from Glendale, do we share that with Hiram? Am I supposed to copy Terry on these things, or are we just working till,
Not
what do I?
yet.
Not yet,
Yeah.
okay. So we're not,
Just leave them in we could leave them in the basketball file.
okay.
They only had one person show up to the meeting last night.
For the Highland?
Yeah.
Really?
Everett was the only one.
Oh, yeah, for Tri-Town, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Ballfield, going up the San Pond meeting in time. I don't know. That's up to them, isn't it? Up to them.
They're looking for us to schedule something, that's why I put it on. I was just gonna look at my email real quick, cause a couple members said a certain day worked for them, but I didn't know if you guys preferred one day over the other. What does Monday or Thursday night look like for everybody and time?
Monday's okay, except for the third Monday.
Patricia Mayor, any evening is fine through the week, starting about 6 p.m., so it's not late ending.
Right. Yeah, any night for me.
Michael Toomey, schedule's wide open.
Tuesday, yeah.
Then
Thursday,
afterwards,
yeah.
Monday or Thursday.
Monday, I guess Monday's, as long as it's not,
We still got some time, I mean, it's still, the water's pretty cold.
yeah.
You know, you
I'm
gotta
not putting those buoys out right yet.
No. And we're gonna have some problems.
You wanna do
know,
May
just
3rd?
finding everything we need and stuff.
Yeah. What's that?
You wanna do May 3rd? That's the first Monday of the month,
May 3rd? Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
You wanna meet in person or remote?
In person, fine.
Okay.
Just, you know, provide me.
Now, you say there's been some communication between them already?
Well, Ben had me send out a mass email to all the interested San Pond people to chime in on what worked, and no one really responded. So he just asked me again the other day to schedule something, so.
Well, like I say, Pat called me, you know, she just wants to be on the list and stuff, so,
She got the email,
yep, good,
she responded, I got it.
yep, good. Then I see, Mike Toomey, he got in touch with you.
He's ready to go.
He helped us a lot last
He
year.
did, yeah.
He and his wife together.
Yeah. But, this year won't be so bad, we won't have to tie them all together.
No, I mean, we're way ahead this year.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about trash cans though. I should have asked Brian today if he's got any drums, so do we wanna buy some trash cans this year?
He's got the ones that were supposed to be down there.
Yeah, I took them back, but
Oh.
one of them, the bottom of it is pretty,
Pretty rusted,
well,
probably should get new ones then.
pretty perforated.
Yeah,
And 55-gallon drums dump hard.
yeah, yeah.
And you wanna do melons again for pickup? Trash?
I don't think we got no other choice. I'd like to see what his price is this year. If he goes up again as much this year as what he did last year.
Okay. And porta potty, you guys want there, when?
Geez, we'll have to, probably mid-June sometime,
Oh, I'd say the 1st of June.
1st of June?
Yeah.
You know, worry about Memorial?
Yeah, for Memorial Weekend, yeah,
That's only a couple of weeks in front of that.
yeah.
Okay. You want Chad at this meeting?
Sure.
Are you guys gonna help clean up that trash that got dumped, or?
Oh, yeah, let's go look into that.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, I took a look at it too, and there's a bag there, and I was looking through the bag, see if I could find an address. I think this, right now, this weekend, I don't have to work, so maybe I'll go down and pick it up. Dump it somewhere.
I got a truckload of trash out of that same spot last year, and that's why I brought it to you, 'cause if it's a repeat situation, it's more than I can,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I can handle.
yeah.
But I wasn't expecting you to do it, Jim. I wasn't-
No.
You know, but I just was,
I mean, it's an eyesore, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's actually my sister's land on the right.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So there's kind of an old road that was down back there too, so that's all your sister's laying down in there?
yeah. It goes down to an old beaver dam.
I think me and Jason drove the Jeep down in there one time.
Yeah,
Looking for
yeah,
it.
it used to be people drive Jeeps and
Yeah.
down there, go fishing and stuff.
Does that get down into what they call Sand Pond Swamp?
Yeah,
If you go far enough on it?
the hay.
Yep,
Yeah.
I've heard of that, yeah. Old Richard Thorne used to hunt that a lot.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah.
There's been moose taken out of there too.
Really?
Really?
Yes, sir.
I know there's the move down there. Huh.
Before it was legal to hunt in this wildlife district too.
Alright. Starting tomorrow, CMT is gonna be replacing all the streetlights. LEDs. This is, the second time they rescheduled it, so who knows? We'll see. Planning board Zoom meeting on Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. Office open Saturday, April 24th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And this is when I move the board to go into executive session pursuant of 1 MRSA 4056A to discuss personal matter.
Wanna do the public, just close it out first, the public questions?
Oh, we should, yeah. Got anything, Joe?
No, thank you.
Kathy?
Just, the thing for Norm coming up, we'll be meeting with the auxiliary group and figuring out who's doing what, phone calls have been made, so we'll get a roster of stuff being brought in and who's gonna be handing things out.
Yeah.
Now, when is that now? Can we get a firm date?
May 1.
Now, what about, they gonna be using the fields out here that day, Danielle?
I don't schedule.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a problem.
I told Kyle May 1st, that was the only conflict, so he was supposed to relay that to all the leagues.
So you've already told them about
I
May
did tell him
1st?
that during the conversation, but
Yeah.
we're gonna talk again, yep. We'll make sure that gets communicated through all the other teams.
he gives you a schedule and you happen to see it's on there, just tell him.
I'm trying to get a hold of Kyle.
I mean, that would be a disaster, you know, if we was trying to do that, and then all of a sudden have a couple ball games going at the same time.
Hey, you have good audience.
No, we're gonna chuckle out of it.
Oh, yeah, you think it's funny? Yeah, I mean, we'd make it work, but I mean, just, if you can schedule around it, you're better off to do that.
Understood. Kind of past tense now.
Yeah.
Any thoughts about putting a couple maple trees out front? I know you guys had talked about taking down that large spruce. I don't know what the status on that is.
Well, we haven't really talked about it, but it'll get pretty scrappy, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So we were thinking putting up a couple of, a trio of, maple trees and a bench with a plaque to honor Norm, just to, you know, have a nice little setting out there.
Yep.
You have to put something out there, well, you don't have to, but, I mean, it would look good.
Yeah,
Something that's
make it
coming up.
without it, yeah.
Even if they get one started early before you actually cut down the tree,
Mm-hmm.
you know? You're not gonna drop it towards the road, you're gonna be dropping it down towards the entrance down the other end of the building.
Yeah. Maybe we put that on the agenda, maybe to look into somebody to cut that down. It is getting pretty.
Okay.
At least price it out.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them will give you credit for the wood and others take it themselves. I don't know what the condition of the wood is or whether there's a market for it, but certainly if it helps to defray the cost, not a bad thing.
Now, you're asking us to put our head on a line here.
How's that?
Well, remember when we talked about doing this down at the library on the big tree down there?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what told my father about that, and I got chewed like you wouldn't believe. Because he was a little boy when they planted that tree.
Oh.
So I wonder how many little boys was out here when these trees was planted, you know?
Understand.
But, I mean, it's almost completely dead.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, if you take one, you ought to take the other one too.
The other one's so bad, I don't think.
Yeah, but would you want to look like this or look like this?
I don't know.